basketball.
Okay, we'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon to those of you who may be watching on the internet, who may be watching it a bit later on YouTube. And Brad does a great job distributing this, and we get a lot of comments from people who can't watch it or can't be here, but they do tune in. So one observation I'll make before we start with Ryan Larseon this afternoon. For most of you who've come to a lot of the games over the years, it's really struck me in the last maybe 2 weeks here at home, the elevation of the play, some of the opponents that are coming in, the quality of the teams that are now on our schedule has been elevated tremendously. And then I think about how we're competing with these teams and the elevation of the talent and the players who are really working so hard, and it's just great. We've seen some great basketball games on this floor the last couple of weeks, and Tom and I have talked about that on the air. They have been just absolutely great games. So let's get started, and we'll start off this afternoon with the women's coach, Ryan Larseon. Ryan.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I'd like to recognize our women's basketball assistant, Ketty Paulus, is her first luncheon today. So thanks for being here, Ketty. Ketty's done a tremendous job for us this year. It's her first coaching job at the collegiate ranks and has done an outstanding job. I probably don't give her enough guidance at times, but she's smart enough and tenacious enough just to get the job done, and she's been a tremendous help for me this year, as well as the girls on the team too. She's doing a great job of teaching those guards, and as you can see, the shots are starting to fall now, so that's all Ketty's progress right there with those guards. Got a game tonight, just got to remember that, so if I'm a little fidgety, you know why, kind of a big one. Obviously we're playing at Black Hills tonight, but before we talk about BH, just a week ago I was standing here talking about Chadron State, and I told you I felt really good about that game, and we went down there and backed it up, played one of our obviously better games of the year, really followed a scouting report really well, defended great, and executed offensively and limited our turnovers, and that was a big Achilles heel for us, and that was the first game all year we had more assists than turnovers, and we won. All right, and had a really nice shooting percentage, a great victory for us, for our young team, inexperienced team. Go down to an environment like that. I was just as nervous last week at this time as I was today about going into Chadron's gym. That's a hostile environment. It really was. Their students were out in full force and getting after us a little bit, but man, our kids responded. They really, really battled. We got a nice lead in the second half. To Chadron's credit, they made a nice run at us, but we kept making plays. We kept getting stops and rebounds and big plays on the offensive end. So we're really, really happy about that victory. And then, we validated it, followed up with another good win at home Friday night, our first home win against a good Northern Sun team. Appreciate Tom's comments about the level of talent that we're bringing in this gym at the Division II level. Every team that we've played, minus Chadron, is fully funded, and you can see why. Scholarship-wise, strength coach, especially in the Northern Sun, those teams and those programs, they're not lacking there. You look at their bench and they got 3 assistants sitting there and all kinds of other stuff. But had a great win against Southwest State. Again, just like we did down at Chadron, we defended really well. Followed the scouting report well, and really cranked it up defensively in the second half, which led to a nice lead. And we made it a little interesting down the stretch there, I know, but we got it done. We just made enough plays to get a victory against a good Southwest Minnesota team Friday night. And then Saturday, ran into a bit of a buzzsaw against the University of Sioux Falls. USF is a good team. You'll see at the end of the year how they finish in the Northern Sun, how good they are. But we made them look a little better than what they are, and I take a lot of that blame. The problem with our schedule right now, Coach Henry and I have talked about this a lot, is that jamming all these games into November right now, it's really, really hard to get better at what you need to as a team. And, it just seems like you get done playing a game, well, then you practice and you fix some things maybe and you shore some things up, and then you got to turn around and start preparing for another team. And that's hard for us right now, is to just keep adding stuff defensively and offensively, and we haven't been able to do that. And why I say that is against the University of Sioux Falls, our game plan was to switch defensively 1 through 4 on the court, and we had done it at some points during games for possession here or there, and Saturday that was our game plan for the entire game, and we weren't ready for that, and that's my fault. That's on me. Was it the right plan? It was, but our kids just weren't quite ready for that, because we haven't had time to really practice it and get good at it. We did a great job on the kid that we were supposed to stop switching 1 through 4. We did a really good job, but then we let those other kids get free, and they made us pay and knocked down a bunch of jumpers against us. But USF is a good team. My biggest concern was that we had gotten better every game up until that point, and we kind of regressed a little bit. But the kids, they know. That's the nice thing, that it's obvious that they can see that, and now it's easy for them to fix, because you play well, and you got to have a clinker a little bit, and they know what they need to do in the next game, which is tonight. And yeah, big one. I'm really excited about this. I told the kids yesterday when we were watching film, if you're not excited to play this game, I'm going to check your pulse, because it's going to be really fun. Played some like opponents. BH and ourselves has. I think Northern beat them by 11, if I'm correct, and then USF beat them by 5. So there's some comparison there a little bit. Obviously, USF kind of boat raced us a little bit, but that was their first game of the week. But we don't like to compare scores. We'll compare stats a little bit more, as far as our stats and Black Hills State's. In looking at the numbers, I think it's a real quality matchup for us wise. I really do. They got a really dynamic guard, Chelsea Bigelow from Rapid City here, who's averaging 23 a game, and she's going to be tough to stop. And obviously that's our focus tonight, is to shut her down. But again, this is Coach Paul's scout, and we have a good game plan to shut her down. And then obviously from the USF game, we know what we have to do better offensively. We can't have those dry spells of 10 minutes, 15 minutes where we're not getting quality shots and we're turning over and we're just not running good offense. All right, and if there's one good thing to take away from that USF game, the kids now, they know. After playing 2 really good offensive games in a row, they know, I made a mistake there, or we got to do this better, okay? Instead of me just preaching all the time, now they can really see it. But yeah, excited. You can tell I'm a little bouncy today, but I feel good about this game. I really do. After Saturday's debacle a little bit, I know our kids are really excited to get back on the court and go compete right before Thanksgiving break. Any questions? Our defensive stopper, Jessica Scholl. Yeah, that's a good matchup. Those two there. We should kind of line them up and see who has the longer wingspan. I'm not sure. I think Bigler might have her by an inch or 2. But, Jess is a really good defender with those long railroad track arms of hers. And she's learning how to use it by closing out and just guarding the ball with her arms. And will bring help as well. In our scouting report, we always identify one kid that we pay a lot of attention to, and kind of our term is 5 kids have to know where she's at, and that's obviously Bigler tonight. But feel really good about Jess Gardner. But a lot of it is the help that we provide Jess as well. I knew Tom would have a good one for me. Anybody else? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys coming out. Make it to the BH game tonight. If not, the following week, we got a home game Friday night against Rocky Mountain, and got another one I'll be really excited about. The Coyotes from USD are coming to town. We got them at the Civic Center. I know them fairly well. That's my scout. That will be an easy one. I'll just copy off the playbook from last year and put it in the scouting report. We'll be just fine. But thanks again for you guys' support. See you next week.
Thank you, Ryan. Let's bring up Jason Henry. What a tremendous, foes that the men are playing. And Jason's just gotten through the soft part of his schedule. He's going into the hard part of his schedule this coming weekend. But after tonight, Caleb Shockman is here too. We'll hear from Caleb. Jason, come on up. Jason Henry.
Yeah, the problem is that wasn't a joke that we have our tough part of our schedule coming up. Not only the teams that we're playing, but the stretch that we have. But it is what it is. And our guys, we were throwing at them last year with 3 games in 3 days, games on Tuesday, games on Thursdays, and we were all over the place, and we did just fine. So our guys are excited about it, and we always tell our kids when they come here, there's probably a good chance you're not going to be an NBA player. You're going to be a good engineer or a good academic guy and get a great job and be a leader out there. And well, this is their chance to show that they can be an NBA player because they're playing every night. So it's a one opportunity for them, and they'll, like I said, they'll be ready for it. Going back to last Tuesday, we keep talking about we had 9 games in 16 days. We're finally down to our 4 games in 6 days now. So it's a scary feeling looking at the schedule for almost a year now. But now we're almost all the way through it, and hopefully we can get some wins and just keep playing well. Last week we started out with Shattern down there, which is always a tough place to play, like we talked about. That we've lost there about every year since I've been here, but probably the last 20 years. And then, if we get a chance to play them up here, we have a chance, even a better chance to win the game. And we did. We didn't play very well, especially in the first half. We had a number of turnovers, and didn't do very well. So then we came back with about 6 minutes to go. We cut it to 2 and just kind of ran out of gas. And like I said, it's a tough place to play. It was, like Ryan said, a tough environment. It was packed in there, and even if there's 20 people in there, it feels like it's packed the way it sounds. So came off of that, and then we regrouped and had a very good team, here on Friday night in Kearney, and some very, very good players. And we played them down the road, and they had one of the guys that was out. One of the guys was back that hadn't played yet this year, and got a great team. And we played very well. We shot 60% from the field, made our free throws at the end. We're up 10, 15 points. Basically throughout the game, and it felt like we were up, 6-10 basically the whole game, and next thing you know, they start following us with about 3 minutes to go, and if we go 1 for 2 or miss some fronts or miss them both, whatever the case is, I don't think we would have won the game. They got some very good players, and our guys did. They stepped up and got the stops when we needed to, but stepped up and made the free throws. Then Kearney turns around and plays the first round of the conference. They didn't. They played Shattern State actually down there, and they beat Shattern by almost 25, 30 points the other night. So, and Shattern's not bad. They're 3-0 going into that game, and obviously we got a chance to see them. So we know Kearney was a good team. Handled them okay at home, and pretty excited about that. Then the next night, which was our Saturday night game, we had School of Mines in here, and they are. We knew they had 5 all-conference kids on the team, 3 preseason all-conference, 1 all-American on the team from the year past, freshman player of the year in the RMAC, yada, 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 all the way down the line. We know what kind of talent they had, and they showed it. It was a stretch. First 2 minutes wasn't too bad, and then about the 2-minute mark to about the 11-minute mark, so almost a 9-minute stretch, we weren't very good, and they didn't stop missing, and they guarded okay, and we put them in the free throw line way too much, and then the rest of the game we were right there, and until the end when we had to fall a couple times and whatnot, but cut the lead to 6. And did a lot of good things. So it just showed our guys and our coaches and everything that we're right there. There's no question about it. We talk about the transition and and understanding that it is a transition, and it's a few-year transition. You go from USD to South Dakota State to the D2s that have transitioned the last few years. And Coach Glenn and I were just talking about Colorado Mines when they transitioned, and until about 6-7 years ago, they had trouble winning 5-6 games a year. So it's a transition time. The best best part of our transition, though, is we have one of the most talented teams we've ever had here, and thank goodness. If we didn't have the group that we have right now, it would be a very, very long year just competitive-wise. Wins and losses will come and take care of themselves, but, we got to make sure that we're still focusing on the right things and getting through this transition, but we got a great group of guys that are helping along the way. So we're excited about that part of it. But we proved that we can play with basically the best out there, and the problem is like Tom alluded to. Obviously tonight's game, anything can happen. I think we got an advantage in the post. We'll talk about Caleb here in a second, but he's been very, very good. Andrew Rebo's been very good. Mike Dietz has been very good, and we got to take advantage of that night in, night out, but especially starting tonight. You just never know in that game. I think our guys are going to be ready to go. They're excited to do it, but or get to that game. But we're always going to have our hands full against them. So then we look forward. Not that we're looking past them, that's for dang sure. But looking forward to Friday night. We are at home Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So got any plans when the ladies, I guess, are out shopping, or you get my TV bought, or whatever the case is? You can head to the games afterwards. So, but we played University of Arkansas Fort Smith on Friday, and they just beat the number 10 team in the country by 30 the other night. So they won the Heartland Conference, which is a pretty good conference. Last year got everybody back, including a D1 transfer from Arizona State, and he's 6'10", he's long, and he can just do a number of different things. So he'll be there along with the team. They're excited to come up here and see what the sites we have in the Rapid City and the Black Hills area. But they're also excited to take their show on the road, and we are. Well, I'm excited to have them here, see that kind of competition. Then the next night, we play an Adams State team. It's a little bit different than the teams that we've played so far in the last 4 or 5 games, where they're really athletic. They get up and down the floor. They pressure you. They're big, strong guards. So they beat us by 30 last year down at their place, and we got them up at our place this year with all of our guys back. So we're excited about that. And then finally Sunday comes, and then we play Augustana, who everybody knows about Augustana, and they're one of the top D2 programs in all their sports, and being in Sioux Falls and then location, and they get some great players and some great people down there. So we know what we're going to get out of them, and really struggled. We played them 5 times since I've been here and really struggled against them, but all of them have been down there as well. So we're excited to get them all back up here. The problem is one of our last home games is coming up this weekend. With the schedule and how it is, we play at home on the 6th again, and then we basically have 2 more home games after that. So hopefully people can come see some great competition. I know Tom talked about it, and we're right there. That's the fun part of having teams coming in here that are very good. I think we got as much talent as they do, and we got to execute, and we got to play well and not have so many turnovers. And the thing that's kind of hurt us, especially on the road and especially against Mines, is they've shot more free throws than we've made. So you just can't do that against good teams, much less on the road, and that's something that we really have to shore up going into this weekend, is keeping them off the foul line. So anyway, that's our group that's coming up here, and obviously start with tonight, and should be a fun atmosphere, and we're looking forward to it. So, any questions? Awesome. All right, we're going to get Caleb up here. Caleb Shockman's been with us for, 14 years now? I think 14 years he's been here, and he's a great guy in our program. He has been here for a while. Had some crazy situation when he transferred in after his first year and had to go part-time at Christmas time, so he could save a year of eligibility. And then last year he had to go part-time the second semester, so he sat out the second semester so he could save a whole year for this year coming up. And so yeah, he graduated in 1983, I think, from high school, and has a chance to be with us for a while. But it's good to have some leaders in the program that understand what we're supposed to be doing, the expectations and all those kind of things. But it's really nice to have from last year. He was our leading scorer and rebounder. Didn't have him the second half of the year, but up to that point Started out a little shaky this year, and I think, like we've talked about, is I think he just was trying too hard, and he's really settled down now. And the last few games, I don't think he's missed for the last few games, to be honest, from the free throw line or from the field. So, but he's a guy this summer, and I think Ryan had just came here. I can't remember who had just was in one summer, and I come walking through the gym, and he's in there doing his workout with one of our weight vests on. And I said, well, I think we got a shot this year because we got our guys working out on their own. We can't do anything with them in the summer. And I walk by, and not only are they just shooting shots and messing around with their girlfriends that usually you see when you walk in to the gyms, he's working. He's got sweat all over the place, only him in there, and he's got a weight vest on. So we'd like to put the 20 pounds on him, okay, that he had, but I know he's definitely worked his tail off, and really looking forward to this year, and it's definitely been a good year so far for him. So I'll shut up, bring him in, and we'll go from there.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank all the support that we've seen as athletes from all of you and the fans, the faculty, and everyone that brings in money for us so that we can go to school, get it paid for. And thanks for bringing me here so I could get some free food and talk to you. I really just like to talk about our team so far up to this point and what I feel like we've been doing. What Coach Larseon said about having all these games right away, we're kind of trying to find our identity, figure our team out, and it's kind of tough when you have back-to-back games and not a whole lot of practice time to do it. So we found ourselves trying to learn who we are in game time situations. So a lot of it's been learning experience, which is not the ideal situation to learn during games. I mean, looking back at Colorado Mines, Coach talked about that 9-minute stretch where I feel like we scored like 4 points total and just dug ourselves in a huge hole. And that was a huge learning experience for our team. And limiting times like that is really a big thing for our team. Playing a whole 40 minutes, we kind of play at two levels. We're up here, and then sometimes we're down here, like that 9-minute stretch where the offense is we're just going through the motions. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. There's no crisp action, no crisp movement. And that's what we thrive on, is people moving, people getting other people open. And we really need 5 guys working together if we want to be successful. And that's kind of what we're figuring out. And to get 40 minutes of that is what we're trying to do, and that's the goal. And as far as tonight's game, I don't think I need to say much about that. Everyone kind of knows what it'll be like. A lot of energy, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of fans. Should be a fun game. So right now I'll just be open to any questions anyone might have.
Caleb, it doesn't look like you missed a step. You sat out last semester, but as Coach said, you were working out during the summer. But did you feel rusty at all starting the season?
Oh no, it's like riding a bike. It's my 6th year of basketball. Everything, just keep learning. Everything keeps improving. Everything carries over. Muscle memory, all the training, it's all there. And that's another thing. That's another strength of our team is we have myself, Michael Dietz, Lance Kilburn. They're 5th year guys. I'm a 6th year guy. Andrew Rebel, he's been around for a long time, and we've all spent our fair time in the gym and love the game of basketball. So we're all highly skilled guys and really put a lot of time into what we can do and really developed our game.
What are you looking to do when you graduate?
I get that question a lot, and honestly, I don't really know how to answer it, but I've been looking at different companies, getting my name out there, kind of figuring out what's out there for me, where do I want to go. But that's still something I'm trying to figure out. Mechanical engineering. Yeah.
What is the sequence of events after high school? Where do you go and how do you get here and all that? What is your thought process and all that? Can you review that for us?
Oh yeah. As Coach was talking about, it's like feels like my 14th year here because I've been kind of around a lot of different places. Right away, I came on a recruiting visit down to School of Mines, my senior year of high school. I felt at home, but I kind of had a lot of people push me towards NDSU, and I had my own personal desire of trying to reach as high as I could. So I decided to walk on at NDSU, and really it was a great experience for the 3 semesters I was there. I really learned how much it took to be a college athlete, and well, they put some weight on me, which not much, but got a little bit stronger. But really, I figured out that I love the game, and I want to keep playing basketball, and I want to play competitively. So that's when I decided maybe NDSU isn't right for me. I felt like School of Mines. I kind of regretted not taking that right away, so I decided that's where I want to be. And Coach Henry called me up one day, and now I'm here.
What's the
Any-
secret to not missing shots during
Practice. I don't know.
Who guards you in practice?
Andrew Rebol and Joe Newkirk, and they're both very physical guys, and I could probably owe a lot of not missing any shots to them because they make shots very tough in practice. So when it comes game time, it almost feels like it's easier. It's like a layup.
As the old man of the team, where do you see the team in 2 or 3 years with the young players that have come in?
I think the team will keep growing. We got coach recruits the right guys, the guys that compete, and really all around guys that are for the team. Of Connor Koulis, he's one of the young and rising players, and I think he's a great leader. He knows the game really well, and he's skilled, and he's got the guys around him. Troy Whitetoe, he's just a freak athlete. I think he'll be a good player. And Joe, of course. Joe's big, physical, strong post. Challenges everyone. We really just have a competitive atmosphere in practice, and that's what you need to grow as a program. Any more questions?
Oh, thank you.
Tom alluded to not missing shots, and I thought I'd extend that to just let you know that Caleb over the last weekend was 13 out of 13 from the floor and 4 out of 4 free throws. So I don't know how you get any better than that, but I know if there is a way, Coach Henry will find it out, and we'll get you even better. But congratulations, Caleb, off to a great start. You represent the school so well, and it's great to have you have that success. Enough about tonight's game. We want to review U.S. Bank, who is our top corporate sponsor. They are sponsoring the Thanksgiving weekend coming up. There are free tickets available at any U.S. Bank branch office in Rapid City. If you'd have some friends you want to bring to a game, you can pick up those tickets again at any U.S. Bank branch office. Thank you to Pat Burchell and all the employees at U.S. Bank. I don't know if Tiffany has anything she wants to add. No, she's shaking her head vehemently no. Tonight we'll have the games. If you can't make it up, we'll have the games on the Hills 97.5. Tom's going to have the first game on the air. I'll have the men's game, so we look forward to you following if you can't make it up. And thank you very much. Next Tuesday, same place, same time, same old faces. Thank you very much.